Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered when exactly the man staring back began to feel so distant from the one you used to be? There's a quiet crisis unfolding in the lives of many older men. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It hides behind half smiles, jokes that deflect, and moments when you pull away not because you want to, but because you don't know how to stay. I'm Dr. Henry Caldwell, and I want to talk to you about something most men avoid until it's too heavy to carry alone: sexual health, aging, and the strength it takes to reclaim connection when you thought it was gone. This isn't just about physical performance. It's about trust, about presence, about knowing that even in your later years, you are not less of a man, you are more. We live in a world that often forgets the quiet power of elderly wisdom, where youth is glorified and age is misunderstood. But the truth is, real strength is not loud, it's grounded, patient, and built from decades of living, losing, and learning. Let's be honest. Erectile dysfunction, what many call EDs, one of those shadows that creeps in silently. It's not just about sex. It's about confidence, about feeling close, about knowing that the body can still respond to desire and give love the way your heart longs to. But here's the secret no one told you. ED isn't a life sentence. It's a signal, a whisper from the body saying, "Please look at me. I need attention." Let's begin with the physical. You are not broken. You're aging. And like any well-used machine, your body needs better fuel and a bit more care. Poor blood flow is often at the root. Clogged arteries, high blood pressure, or diabetes narrow the channels through which intimacy is made possible. Testosterone levels dip. Muscles weaken, including the ones down there. But there is beauty in understanding, because once you know why something happens, you have the power to change it. Walking just 30 minutes a day can increase circulation. Gentle strength training boosts hormones. Kegel exercises strengthen the pelvic floor, helping you reclaim function and control. A diet rich in beets, watermelon, and dark leafy greens supports blood flow naturally. These aren't just changes for the bedroom. They're part of a healthy aging lifestyle. They make your heart stronger, your energy steadier, your mood lighter, and your relationship? It changes too. Because when you take care of yourself, you show up more fully for someone else. You don't need to say it. They feel it. They sense when you're present and proud of the man you are becoming, not despite aging, but because of it. As we step into part 2, we'll move beyond the physical, into the part of ED that few dare to talk about, the mind, the weight of silence, and how breaking it just once can bring peace not only to your body, but to your marriage, your sense of self, and your home. Stay with me. This journey isn't about shame, it's about reclaiming freedom. One truth at a time. There's a kind of silence that speaks louder than words. You may recognize it. It's the silence that settles into the space between you and your partner. The unspoken tension when the lights go out. The avoidance of eye contact. The quiet turning of your back. You tell yourself it's just tiredness, but deep down, you know it's fear. Fear of not being able to show up the way you used to. Fear of disappointing the person who matters most. Fear of being less than who you were. And here's what many men never realize. It's not just your body that's holding you back. It's your mind. Erectile dysfunction isn't always about blood flow or testosterone. Often, it begins in the head, where doubt grows and stress tightens its grip. Anxiety floods the body with cortisol, narrowing blood vessels and killing desire before it even has a chance to rise. It's not a failure. It's a physiological response, but one that can feel personal, crippling, lonely. When intimacy becomes a test you're afraid to fail, you start pulling away. But here's the paradox. The more you pull away, the more disconnected you feel. The more disconnected you feel, the more intimacy becomes unreachable. It's a cycle. And cycles, when left unbroken, become walls. But there is a path forward, and it begins with something that costs nothing: curiosity. The same elderly wisdom that teaches us to slow down, to listen, to reflect, can also help us untangle these knots. Practices like mindful breathing, meditation, and stillness aren't just for the spiritual. They are practical tools to calm the mind and invite the body back into safety. When your nervous system feels safe, arousal becomes possible. Again, it's not magic. It's biology. It's trust. Rebuilt from the inside out. Then there's something even more transformative: open communication. I've seen it time and again in my patients. When a man has the courage to say, "This is what I'm going through," something shifts. The pressure lifts. The shame shrinks. Partners, more often than not, respond with grace, not judgment. They aren't disappointed. They're relieved. Because finally, the wall is down. The guessing is over. That's how intimacy returns. Not in a moment of performance, but in a moment of truth. Let me tell you about someone. His name was Richard. He was 71. For years, he avoided closeness. Not because he didn't love his wife, but because he feared what he couldn't control. When he finally spoke to her, really spoke, with trembling hands and a racing heart, she didn't recoil. She reached for him. That moment, more than any prescription or therapy, changed everything. If you're listening to this and feeling that familiar ache of distance, I want you to know you are not alone. There's no shame in this story. There is only strength in facing it. So what can you do, starting today? Talk to your partner, to your doctor, to yourself. And while you're at it, take a look around your living space. Sometimes mental heaviness reflects in physical clutter. Clearing your environment, even one drawer at a time, can create space in your mind. This is where clutter-free living and home organization after 60 meet emotional wellness. Simplicity outside supports calm inside. These aren't just senior decluttering rules. They're anchors for clarity, for intimacy, for peace. And peace, my friend, is fertile ground for closeness. In part 3, we'll talk about solutions, real, practical, proven ways to support your body in this new chapter. From natural remedies to medical innovations, we'll explore how elderly wisdom meets modern science to help you feel whole again. But for now, sit with this truth. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's the path home. If your car stopped running as smoothly as it once did, you wouldn't sit in the driver's seat in silence, would you? You'd check the engine. You'd look under the hood. You'd make a plan. So why, when it comes to your own body, do you hesitate? Many men carry the belief that asking for help or seeking treatment makes them less of a man. But I say this with every ounce of sincerity I have as a doctor, recognizing you need support and doing something about it. It is one of the strongest decisions you will ever make. Let's take a look under the hood, because your body, like any machine that served you for decades, needs maintenance, gentle attention, thoughtful upgrades. We've already talked about the role of blood flow. That's the foundation. Without strong circulation, there's no energy for intimacy. And here's where elderly wisdom steps in again, not with urgency, but with consistency. Start with aerobic exercise. A brisk 20 to 30-minute walk 5 days a week does more than move your legs. It wakes up your arteries. It sends a message to your body. We're not done living yet, but don't stop there. Let's talk nutrition. Beets, watermelon, spinach. These foods are packed with nitric oxide precursors, natural compounds that relax your blood vessels, encouraging better flow not just to the heart, but everywhere it matters. Think of it as edible self-respect, not a diet, but a lifestyle. A healthy aging lifestyle. Reduce the sugar. Cut the processed fats. Not to punish yourself, but to clear the fog. Inflammation, the silent destroyer of tissue, thrives in those foods. When you let them go, your energy rises, your sleep deepens, your confidence follows. And if nature alone isn't enough, we now live in a time where science is catching up to the needs of the seasoned soul. Let's talk treatments. Medications like sildenafil Viagra are not cheats. They're tools. And when used properly, under the care of a physician, they can restore not only performance, but hope. But they aren't standalone miracles. They work best when paired with stimulation, intimacy, desire. For those who prefer alternatives, low-intensity shockwave therapy is showing promise. It uses gentle pulses to encourage the growth of new blood vessels, increasing circulation naturally. And for men with significantly low testosterone, hormone replacement therapy, when monitored carefully, can bring back energy, mood, and libido. Even acupuncture, a practice rooted in centuries of tradition, is finding its place in modern men's health by reducing stress and supporting flow. But here's something I want you to remember. None of these are one size fits all. You are unique. Your needs, your body, your rhythms deserve personalized care. That's what true medicine is. Not just fixing, but understanding. I once treated a man named Walter. He was quiet, reserved, but his eyes told a story of deep frustration. When we finally built a plan that combined walking, testosterone support, dietary changes, and daily check-ins with his partner, his entire energy changed. He smiled more, held his wife's hand again, looked 10 years lighter, not just in body, but in spirit. That's what this is about. It's not just erections. It's about standing tall in your own life, feeling like yourself again, not a faded version, but a wiser, sharper, more self-aware you. And let me say this. Creating a supportive environment matters too. Your home should be a sanctuary, not a source of stress. A cluttered space can quietly weigh on the mind, making you feel trapped. This is why home organization after 60 inches and senior home safety matter so deeply. They're not just about neatness. They're about freeing your attention, eliminating hazards, and creating space for connection. Use downsizing tip seniors live by, like removing unused furniture, labeling essentials clearly, and creating open, easy-to-navigate spaces. These changes, though simple, support freedom of movement, of thought, and of affection. In Part 4, we'll bring it all together. How the emotional, physical, and environmental pieces unite into a life of deeper intimacy, stronger relationships, and truer joy. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about restoring function. It's about restoring meaning. You're not just aging. You're evolving. Let's finish this journey together. When people think of intimacy, they often think of moments behind closed doors. But real intimacy begins much earlier. It starts at the dinner table, on quiet walks, in the way you listen, the way you speak, the way you simply show up with your whole self. And that's the heart of this journey, showing up again, fully, bravely, without armor. If you've made it this far, you've already taken the most important step. You've chosen to face up truth that many avoid for years. And in doing so, you've invited something powerful back into your life: presence. Let's talk now about the emotional landscape that shapes connection as we age. Because the truth is, many men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond aren't just fighting a physical challenge. They're navigating emotional distance, silent guilt, old hurts, lingering shame, and silence is the perfect breeding ground for misunderstanding. When a man pulls away due to ed or low libido, the partner often doesn't see the fear, only the distance. Without explanation, absence feels like rejection. What could have been a shared struggle becomes a solitary wall. And from there, the relationship suffers in ways that have nothing to do with the bedroom. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Elderly wisdom teaches us this, that the longer we've lived, the more capacity we have to love deeply, speak honestly, and repair what's been strained. I tell my patients, your story is not over. It is being rewritten with every choice you make. And one of the most courageous choices is conversation. Call it what you want: vulnerability, truth, telling, opening up. But when you share your inner landscape, even imperfectly, you offer your partner a hand instead of a closed door. You give them a chance to say, I'm here. Let's face this together. That's not just connection. That's healing. I remember one couple, Tom and Elena, after 15 years of drifting into polite distance, Tom finally opened up one afternoon in my office. Elena cried not out of disappointment, but relief. She hadn't stopped loving him. She just didn't know how to reach him anymore. That day was the start of their second act. Not a return to youth, but a deeper, slower, more honest kind of intimacy. And isn't that what many of us want? To be seen, accepted, and desired not for who we were, but for who we are now. This is where declutter regret-free isn't just about your garage or wardrobe. It's about your heart, your relationships, your regrets. Let them go. Make space for something richer. Living clutter-free is about more than your physical space. It's about clearing out the emotional debris that's kept you from joy, from spontaneity, from the laughter and lightness that come when you're no longer hiding behind fear. Create space in your home and in your relationship for warmth to return. Remove the unnecessary, not just stuff, but blame, expectations. That old idea that love has to look like it did when you were 30. Love at 70 can be steadier, more soulful, less about the fireworks and more about the fire that keeps burning through the quiet. This is the essence of a healthy aging lifestyle, one that prioritizes connection over perfection, presence over performance, grace over shame. And now, as we near the end of our journey together, I leave you with this. You are not broken. You are becoming. Your body may have changed, but your worth hasn't. Your capacity for intimacy, joy, and purpose is not behind you. It's ahead, right now. In every step you take toward clarity, toward healing, toward love, let elderly wisdom guide you. Let it remind you that your experience is not a burden. It's a gift. One that allows you to approach intimacy with depth, softness, and authenticity. If this message resonated with you, if it stirred something inside, I encourage you to take the next small step. Talk to your partner. Schedule a checkup. Rearrange your home in a way that feels supportive. Begin that clutter-free living journey, not just for safety, but for serenity. And if you found value in this conversation, help others find it too. Like this video. Share it with someone you love. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a message that might just change your life. And tell me in the comments, what topic do you want me, Dr. Henry Caldwell, to explore next? Let's grow together. Let's heal out loud. Until next time, live slowly, love fully, and never forget, the best chapters may be yet to come. There's a moment in every man's life, usually quiet, often unspoken, when he wonders, have I done enough? Not just in work or wealth or titles, but in love, in how he's been present, in how he's been remembered. And that's where this journey comes full circle. Because when we talk about sexual health, aging, and relationships, we're really talking about legacy, about how we continue to show up for those we love, not just with words, but with presence, with energy, with heart. And that begins, always, at home. Your living space is a mirror of your inner life. When it's cluttered, we feel scattered. When it's simple, intentional, and safe, it becomes a place of restoration. That's why I often remind my older patients that home organization after 60 inches isn't just a chore checklist. It's an act of self-respect, of self-care. It's where safety meets serenity. Take a quiet look around your home. Are there stacks of papers you haven't touched in years? Drawers filled with forgotten tools and memories that no longer serve your life today? Start small. One shelf, one room. Apply those senior decluttering rules with kindness. Let go of what no longer carries value. And in its place, invite air, light, and ease. This isn't about minimalism. It's about meaning. Clutter-free living isn't sterile. It's intentional. It makes room for freedom of thought, of movement, of affection. It lowers your stress. It helps you feel capable. It reduces fall risks, improving senior home safety. But perhaps most of all, it sends a quiet message to your nervous system. You are cared for. You are not forgotten. This is especially important if you live with a partner. A clean, open space invites connection. It encourages shared routines, shared joy, shared laughter. And this is the power of elderly wisdom. It doesn't rush. It chooses what matters. It knows that the most meaningful things in life are built not with noise, but with intention. So what legacy are you building now? You've addressed your body, how it functions, how it can be supported. You've faced your mind, its doubts, its fears, its incredible resilience. You've opened your heart to conversation, to healing, to connection. And you've brought attention to your space, so it supports your journey rather than stalling. Now, you stand at a new threshold. Not as someone past their prime, but as someone finally prepared to live fully, freely, and fearlessly. Here's what I want you to know before we close. You are not alone. Your challenges do not define you. Your presence matters more than you realize. There is still time. Time to reconnect. Time to heal. Time to love again with clarity and depth. So what will you do today, not just to fix something, but to build something? Because the truth is, every small step you take, from a 20-minute walk to an honest conversation to clearing out a junk drawer, isn't just for now. It's for the man you're becoming tomorrow, and for the love that still lives inside you. Let that be your legacy, not silence, not shame, but strength. Shared, seen, and felt. If this video moved you, if it reminded you of something important, please take a moment to like it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on that notification bell and share this with someone who needs a voice of calm, clarity, and care in their life. And in the comments below, I'd love to hear from you. What is one step you're ready to take today to reclaim your energy, your connection, your peace? Let's walk this road together. I'm Dr. Henry Caldwell. Thank you for listening. And never forget, aging isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of your wisdom. Let it shine.